I tried the 12-week year again, and this is what happened. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica Denais. I'm a therapist and content creator here on YouTube. I wanted to share my results from the 12-week year. But first, if you don't know what the 12-week year is, it is a concept created by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington that encourages setting and achieving goals in a 12-week time frame instead of a year. So I started this on January 1st and ended it in March 26. Right now it is April 1st, so I'm got all of my reflection done on everything that I felt this time around, and it is a great way to just be able to really focus on a few goals in a very short amount of time instead of feeling like you have this whole year. I feel like when we give ourselves a whole year to accomplish something, it usually takes that long, or we lose sight of it, or we just don't take the necessary steps to prioritize that specific goal. So if you're someone who constantly makes goals but never reaches them, the 12-week year might be for you. Let's go ahead and get into my results. If you do want to see just how I set up everything, all about my template, have any questions about all of that, I have a whole playlist with specific videos on how I've set up my dashboard, how I'll set up everything on ClickUp, which is the project management tool that I use to keep myself organized and keep everything for my 12-week year and my annual goals. So let's get started. The first goal that I had on my 12-week year is to increase my average step count to 6,000 steps. I really love this goal because for me, I work a very sedentary job. I'm a therapist, and so I typically am sitting down, or I'm doing virtual sessions, or I'm recording a YouTube video, and that really doesn't require me to be up and down and doing all kinds of physical activity. So I really have to be intentional with my physical activity just to make sure that I'm moving my body and that I'm not staying stagnant. This goal is very important to me because last year, I believe I was averaging 4,170 steps a day in 2023, and now in 2024, after doing this, my average is 5,922. Now it's not 6,000 exactly, but it was almost close to it. I will say some of the things about doing this goal that were very hard were like, if I forgot to wear my Apple Watch, those steps weren't counting, things like that. So I really didn't like the fact that I had to wear my Apple Watch all the time in order to track my steps so I can give you guys a view. I do think that it is good to track, but the whole purpose of this is that I'm not always going to be wearing my Apple Watch 24/7 just so I could get every single step, accounted for. But now it gives me an idea of what do I need to do to be able to reach an average of 6,000 steps or 6,000 steps a day. And for me, it was walking on my walking pad. It has been the game changer for me getting those 6,000 steps. I really encourage people to invest in a walking pad, especially if they work a sedentary job like me. But I will say, make sure that you are creating a plan to use it. I had to create a plan to use it. I really don't use it to do work on it, walking while you're working. I personally can't do that, but I do it after my strength training workout in the morning. And then I do 20 to 30 minutes on the walking pad, and on breaks, I'll do some walking there. And this was so good because I started this around January, February. So that means that it was around the winter time and it was a little bit colder outside to walk outside. And personally, I don't always feel safe to go out and walk outside. And so the walking pad was a really great way for me to do those daily morning workouts. Now, I will say around the March time, I feel like I did slack off a little bit when it comes to walking in the mornings, but I was very intentional. If I didn't walk in the mornings, I was walking in the afternoons. I was taking any chances, maybe taking out my dog Wilson out for more walks so that I could get my steps. I also parked my car farther whenever I would go into the office. Little things like that added up, and now it feels easier to just not really have to think about those things, but more so do things that are just now part of my day. And that is all about creating the habits, right? So this really was to create the habits that are necessary so that you don't need something like an Apple Watch to constantly wear or track, or it's not really consistent to constantly wear an Apple Watch to track. But overall, I am going to check this one out because even though it was just 5,922, it was so close to the 6,000K steps that a little bit of more, just like either having to wear my Apple Watch a little bit more would have gotten me to that 6,000, but a win is a win. And so if you want to comment that I didn't really reach it, that's totally fine. But in my eyes, I feel like I've reached this accomplishment, and I'm really glad that I did. I want to continue to raise it up, because I do want by the end of the year to get about 8 to 10K steps on average, right? So I'm not saying 8 to 10K steps every single day, but on an average, get to that point. But I'm going to do it in incremental steps, because if I were to tell myself, go ahead and do 10K steps right now, it would not happen. So that's just me. The second goal that I had was to create a daily hair care and skincare routine. And this was accomplished 100%. This was honestly the easiest thing for me to do. I was able to be very consistent. A few days I would forget, but overall, I have a skincare routine and a hair care routine that I follow. It's pretty simple, and I shared it in my video when I prepped for the 12-week year, so you can see that if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was super easy. I did it in the morning, the evening, and I do feel my hair is a lot better now, and my skin is a lot better. Even though I have that's because I'm just getting out of my period. But overall, my skin is a lot better. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I usually just wear like a skin tint, and that is about it, and mascara. I'm just really impressed with my skincare routine and just how easy it was to incorporate it and to remember it. So try to make some of these goals, achievable. Like, they can challenge you, they can be new things, but make them achievable. Make them something that are realistic for you. And so, yeah, I'm really excited that I did that, and then I saw results based on my skin and my hair, and I feel really confident. You'll probably see in a couple more videos of mine that I'm like wearing my hair down a lot more, and I'm really excited because that is because I feel a lot more confident with how my hair is and how my skin is. So yeah. Goal number 3 is that I increase my average view duration. I'm going to share right here just what my December, January, and February were. So for December, I started this goal with a average view duration percentage of 28.3. And unfortunately, in March, it was decreased to 25.7. So it went actually down. I looked at what my 2023 average view duration was, and that was 28.3. And then in 2024, it was 25.6. So, yeah, it went down. However, I started off with 3,132 subscribers, and I am ending the 12-week year with 4,301 subscribers. That means I increased my subscribers by 1,169, which is amazing for 3 months. I think that is incredible. I am bummed about the average view duration, but I am glad that I did do the increase in subscribers and also views. I started off with 177,297 views, and I'm ending it with 258,000 views, which is incredible. Like, that is a pretty significant amount of views in the last 3 months. So while the average view duration, that tells me that maybe I'm not keeping people, hooked to the video, that is something that I can still improve. And so I'm going to continue kind of making this an ongoing goal instead of a 12-week year goal, to just continue to try different things. I was following a specific strategy. I told you in the previous videos that I was following a video on intros. I was following that strategy so that I could increase it. I think that worked, but I also do know that previous 12-week year videos did really well during these 3 months, and other videos from like 7 months ago popped off. This is to encourage you that sometimes your video, like, you can make a goal like, okay, in 3 months I'm going to like increase something, and those videos, you might not see the results of those videos that you did those 3 months until the next quarter. So I'm hoping that these videos that I did January, February, and March are going to get a lot more traction in the next couple of months. So that's what I've seen on YouTube, that you really can't tell when you're going to see the spike, and it's usually delayed, and that's okay. That is totally fine, because this was my highest also amount of money that I made from YouTube these last 3 months, and I think it's because of the views. So I'm super proud of that. Like, I'm not going to check it off because I didn't accomplish it, but I am proud that that is something that I was able to, accomplish. My final goal, it was to buy no clothes by completing the Project 33 challenge. The Project 33 challenge is basically wearing 33 pieces of clothing for 3 months, but for me it was 12 weeks. And so I was able to save. I saved a total of $240 by not buying clothes. I didn't buy any clothes, and so I have a clothing budget of $80 a month. That's just kind of like discretionary. Like, I can use it for clothes, I can use it for anything, but mainly I usually do it for clothes. And instead, I saved it and I put it in savings so that at the end of this challenge, I could get myself some new walking shoes because they can be expensive. Like, new walking running shoes can be expensive. And so I really wanted to be very mindful and not impulsive. In these 3 months too, I was able to research the shoes and really think about the things that I want to buy. And so I'm really glad because wearing a capsule wardrobe made it so easy. I did find that the challenge towards the end of March was very challenging because I didn't have a lot of transitional pieces for March. So I was struggling for sure. I did have to pick out a couple of things, like switch things off in the beginning, like the mid-March point, because it was just getting too hot here in Texas. And so that was the only bummer, like, that I had to switch that off. But the author does say that you don't have to do this in suffering, and something doesn't fit or something gets torn or the weather has changed for you, like, you can switch them off. The whole thing is, the integrity is to stick to the 33 items for the 3 months. So I'm glad that I did it. I accomplished that, and I will absolutely do this again. I don't think 33 pieces will be enough for me. I think maybe 40 pieces might be helpful for me. The reason why I say this is because I love clothes. I love fashion. I love to be able to just try different things, and this was really helpful for me to see like what is in my closet. In the next video, you're going to see a spring clean out from me, and it was so easy to just go and look at my closet after not seeing it for 3 months and pick out the things that I will not be wearing, that I know for sure I will not, that I've been holding on to for sentimental value, or holding on to for that right moment or right occasion. And I completely just decluttered it and donated it or sold it so that I don't have to even think about it. And I'm really proud of myself for that, because clothes can feel, especially with a lot of consumerism right now, like it can feel like you need to buy this, you need to buy that, you need to wear this, you need to wear that. So these 3 months really helped me just like use the clothes that I have, really figure out my style, and not be so pressured by TikTok or, that too. I don't think I said it, but I deleted my TikTok back in November, and that has been the best thing for me, and also helping me with this challenge of just sticking to my clothes. I did have a little notes app that when I was feeling impulsive or I wanted to buy something, I would just put the link of the thing that I wanted to buy in the purchasing wish list, and then I would come back the following week, look at it, and see, do I still want this, so that when this ends, maybe I'll get it. But no, I didn't want it. There's a lot of things on that list that I was just, again, they were just because I was influenced or I saw something. And so it's really helpful to just have something like that. I do have a video with a spending coach, Paige Pritchard, and she talks a lot about impulse shopping and everything that these companies do to entice us to buy clothes. So I hope that you guys consider either doing the Project 333, because I think it could be really helpful. And again, you could do your own version that works for you. But that is all. Overall, the 12-week year is such a great method to use if you really want to stay hyper-focused and not get sidetracked on all these other goals. I feel really accomplished. I hope that you enjoyed watching along with me. If you love watching these videos, make sure that you check out the 12-week year playlist and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll talk to you in my next video.